90 Day. The single-life star John McManus is back to create havoc in Patrick Mendez and Thaís Ramon's lives on HEA. Find out what he's up to in 2024. John McManus is back on TV following his stint on 90 Day, the single-life Season 4 with Megan Brown. John was introduced in 90 Day Fiance Season 9 as Patrick Mendez's half-brother who lived with him and created trouble between him and Thaís Ramon. John's naughtiness won him many fans as he asked the over-enthusiastic Jebri Bell to shut up during the Season 9 tell-all by calling him Spockles or simply entertaining them with his rude but real personality. Sadly, it failed to impress Thaís, who had to live with him. Thaís still has a grudge against John, and her displeasure is evident on her expressive face every time he's around her and Patrick. John tried his best to convince his brother that being with Thaís was a bad idea. He suggested Thaís was a scammer taking advantage of his brother. John's behavior messed up the family's dynamic, and he found an enemy for life in Thaís. And now that Thaís was back in Brazil for the first time in 2 years after her wedding, John had come there too, and Patrick didn't tell Thaís John was coming. Thaís had a difficult time adjusting to her life in America when she moved there on a K-1 visa, and part of the reason was John's brother Patrick. Thaís couldn't get along with John at all. While Thaís had differences with Patrick as they struggled with communication, John was very vocal about how he wasn't accepting of her relationship with his brother. Thaís was aware of John living with Patrick before she moved to the U.S. yet she was wary of sharing her home with a stranger. Meanwhile, John's snappy remarks about Thaís and his backhanded comments said it all. Thaís was especially uncomfortable with Patrick throwing parties and inviting other women home around Patrick, and still, John threw a party in the house. John had even tried to get Patrick to arrange a bachelor party involving 100 hookers. Thaís was at fault for not having acquainted herself with John before moving. She was also unnecessarily rude to John when she could have figured out a different way to handle things. John wasn't understanding of boundaries, especially when he was going to be living with a couple about to be married. The brothers were living together in Patrick's home in Austin, Texas, when Thaís first came to the United States. The three then moved to Dallas, Texas before Patrick and Thaís' wedding. Patrick mentioned they moved to Las Vegas, Nevada during the tell-all. Patrick's home security job required him to move all the time. John also worked at the same company and didn't mind the occasional relocation as he was single at the time. However, by the time John returned to TV on 90 Day, the Single Life Season 4, he had somewhat already moved out of the Vegas house. While John's dating life was never discussed on 90 Day Fiancé Season 9, he became the main character of his story on The Single Life. John, who loved his carefree existence, parties, and vices previously, had now fallen in love and even changed his relationship status on Facebook to taken. He met Megan when she messaged him on Instagram. Megan had the same sense of humor as him. John and Megan chatted online and met in person 4 months later when he visited San Antonio. John was impressed by Megan's looks and took pride in their sexual chemistry. John and Megan had been dating for 5 months when he filmed 90 Day, The Single Life. Patrick and Thaís were convinced it was yet another fling, but John was certain this was going to be a lifelong affair. Being in a relationship with Megan meant that John had to accept her child from a previous relationship. John never wanted to be a dad, but he was now going to become a partner and a parent at once. Megan didn't like John's idea of not having kids as she wished to become a mother again. She was also in a hurry to get married to John, perhaps out of fear of him getting cold feet and refusing to move to Texas for her. She wanted John to propose to her within 1.5 years. She only wanted the commitment and not the ceremony. Surprisingly, John did everything that Megan wanted. John popped the question to Megan during the tell-all. He already had a gold band with diamonds with him. John ended up marking them as the first couple to get engaged during a televised tell-all in the series. Fans have been following John on Instagram to keep up with his spontaneous life. They want to know what happened next for him and Megan, especially since Megan is not a part of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 8. In April 2024, John posted a video with the sound "Happy to Be Here" by Wookiefoot. He captioned it, "Good to get most of us together." The opening frame of the video was a selfie of John with a woman his fans didn't recognize. "Wait, I'm confused. Who is Johnny with now?" asked Oria Pudin, and Drsop wrote, "Hey Big John, who's the pretty blonde at the beginning?" John told a fan that it was his sister. John proved to fans that there was no new woman in his life by dedicating a sweet post to Megan a few days later. John wanted to wish his babes publicly on her birthday. John posted a slideshow format video with several pictures of Meghan. Some of them featured her daughter. John called Meghan the love of his life. Fans told John the two of them looked good together. John is happy and not regretting his hasty decision. John was pressured into making his relationship official and put on the spot by Meghan, but he seems to be sure of her for now. John and Thaís are still not seeing eye to eye even on 90 Day Fiance. Happily ever after. John has now landed in Brazil uninvited and will be staying with Thaís and John in John's dad's apartment. John also forgot that it was Thaís' birthday, so he didn't wish her and said he was her surprise. Thaís is already upset with John's dad, and Patrick is just trying to impress Thaís' dad. It's easy to see 90 Day. The single life's John's presence in Brazil is going to make matters worse for the couple as he stirs the pot and creates chaos in their lives.